All right, Dad, what are you doing?
Making your coupe into a business coupe.
It is so unbelievably cold out right now. Like yesterday it was fine, and today it's freezing out. And I have to weld in this dashboard that I previously cut out. So welcome to the video. Okay, so this is the dash to my 1969 Chevy Corvair that I cut out. I cut it out in a previous video because I originally thought I was going to be using the S10 dash. However, the S10 dash ended up not fitting, and I mean, let's be honest, this looks so much better than an S10 dash. So we're going to be re-welding it back in. Luckily, I did think ahead for this in a way, so my cut lines are all really nice. Welding this in will be no problem whatsoever. However, it's not just a matter of we're going to be welding the dash back in, because we have to run the S10 wiring harness behind it. We have to run the heater controls, the light controls, also the vents for the heating and air conditioning. Even though I don't have air conditioning anymore, we still got to run the vents for the heater, and also the defroster. So there's a lot to do in this video rather than just, re-welding in the dash. So we're not using this wiring harness for the S10, right? This is a complete wiring harness that I unplugged, that I will probably be selling. So if anyone needs a wiring harness, complete wiring harness for a 69 Corvair, probably will also work for a late model. I'll probably sell it on eBay or something. I don't know. That's a story for another day. So for right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the dash top, probably leave that on, remove the gauge cluster, and just kind of some other stuff that doesn't need to be there. Okay, so we got this all out. I might keep the gauge cluster, maybe, but the wiring harness is definitely going. Mud wasp nest and all. So we got that all out now. Right, pretty. I don't know. It's a Corvair dash, and then I thought this was pretty cool. I came up with this. This is the ignition, where the ignition goes, and obviously I can't have that there because it's going to be on the steering wheel. So I'm going to turn this into another cigarette lighter. So I thought that was pretty cool. So those don't even go with this, but put them there. The next thing that we need to do is take off the dash, and then there's some inner support stuff here, like right there, that needs to get cut out, and then it's just really rusty, so we're going to clean this up and then paint it with some rust converter. But I do want to show you this. I'm not going to be repainting the dash or any of the interior. If you come to my other 69 Corvair right here, I made a video on this, but I repainted the dash. Everything's really dusty, but I repainted the dash and I repainted the interior. I'm very happy with this. I also love the polished gauge cluster. But if you want to see how my video on that, I have it somewhere on my channel. Anyway, so I'm not repainting this one, the Corvair one, but I did just polish this because I thought it would look cool, and yeah, it did. I love how the rust is almost enhanced, you could say, the color, the pitting, just like the overall, I don't know, I can't think of the proper word, but I don't know, I thought that looked cool. So I'm going to polish the dash as well, and then polish the interior on that car as well when it's done. Okay, our newest dilemma is the heater controls. So this is where the defroster comes out, and then this is a vacuum that will close that and allow fresh air to flow through. So it has to basically go there. Let me go in there. You see how it clips in there? The only problem is when I put it in there, which I might have to do two-handed. See that? It doesn't really fit because it runs into the top there. So it needs to, I'm really sorry about this shaky camera. It needs to slide back. The only problem is if we slide it back, then I won't have any defroster, which I kind of need. I mean, kind of. It's not like I'm going to be driving this in the winter time, but it would still be good to have a defroster. So we're kind of at a standstill. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to measure how far back this needs to go, and then maybe we can cut the top, slide it forward, and then do some plastic welding or something, you know? But I'm not quite sure if that's going to be possible, but we're going to try, okay? We're going to try, because can't give up yet. Okay, so we measured it, and the base here needs to scoot back 2 inches, which is actually not that bad. I think I may have just solved my dilemma here. Okay, so this needs to scoot back into the cabin 2 inches, and it has to because there's a piece of plastic that covers the front here, and that all needs to be enclosed because that's where all the heating stuff is, and just it has to because I said so, okay? And the bottom here is basically all squared off, you know? So I might just cut it and slide. Okay, so we got a cut, not a very clean cut, but again, here, hold on, how does this go? This went like that. Okay, that's how it was, and we need to do that to it. So, I don't think it will be that hard. We just gotta basically plastic weld the sides here. Okay, I just want to say, I know they make plastic welding kit stuff, you know, whatever. I don't have that. I have a torch and a screwdriver, so deal with it. But look at that. Moved it 3 inches forward. Still plenty of airflow. That's my plastic welding job. Actually, there's a few places where I'm pretty proud of it. Like right there, look at that. Right? So I just took some scrap plastic. We still have plenty of airflow up there. And then to insulate it or seam seal it, I'm going to use hot glue because I'm not going to waste actual seam sealer on this. So let's go see if it fits. It's really dark, or not really dark. It's getting dark though. But I'm amazed with how well that worked. Look at that. Oh my God. Look at this. So this piece goes around that piece, okay? Not inside of it. But anyway, look at that. That worked so well. Oh my gosh. Do you see that? That is amazing. Oh my gosh. I can't believe that worked on the first try. We have some bad news. We got the dash tacked in. That's good news. That looks great. It's somewhat solid. Okay. Oh, what's that? Is that a Corvair seat out of my other Corvair? That's pretty cool. So here's the bad news. Is that, let me just show you. Okay, so the steering wheel column comes way up into the gauge location. You can see where it's bolted in there, right? So that's the first bad news. Second bad news is I originally had the S10 seat in, right? And it was too tall, and my head was literally hitting the ceilings. So I said, I know, I'll just take the seat out of my other Corvair over there, and it will be lower, you know? It'll be the same height as the bench seat. Guess what? It's not. It's the same height as those seats. Which means, if I get in here, see how I have to duck? Okay, I'm in here. Look, my head is touching the ceiling. So that's the first problem. Okay, second problem, so there's a bolt here, let me just, okay, drop the steering wheel down. Now, if I take the factory S10 gauge cluster that I was going to run temporarily, it technically fits right there very nicely. And I'm not going to run the Corvair or the S10 dash gauge cluster forever, but it's just going to be temporary, right? Except the problem is that the steering wheel is right here. right in this general area that I don't want an airbag. Okay, so there's that. So then I thought, what can I do? Well, one, I can. The first problem is if I put this. All right, how am I trying to say this? Basically, there's these two studs here that I could get longer bolts, cut the heads off the bolts, and weld them on, and then bolt it to where I need this, right? Except the seat is still really high. Okay, so then I thought, well, can I lower the seats? Yes, I can, but only about 2 inches. The gauges is a little bit of a problem, but I'm not as concerned as I am about the seats. Because even if I was to leave the steering wheel here in the stock location, I can get gauges, I don't know if you can see this, gauge here, 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 and here, and just kind of make my own custom thing, which I already planned on doing. So there's that. So, yeah. So there's that. That's where we are currently at. I gotta find a new hobby. I guess from back here, the steering wheel isn't that bad. The steering wheel placement, I don't actually care all that much about. I don't care if I have to put different gauges and do whatever. The gauges is the least concerning part of this problem. It's the seats that's the most concerning. All right, so working back on the dash again. I don't know when that last clip was. It's been at least a month since I last recorded that. But as you can see, we just cut the dash back out because I wasn't happy with the ducting system there. So I'm like, you know what, we're just going to get rid of that. And the only heat, which I'm not going to like drive this in the winter time, but as my dad said, it might be a cool fall or spring morning. So you do want that heat. So the only heat we have is for the defrosters and then the front heat there, which is totally okay. And then air conditioning, well, that's already built into the car. So don't need air conditioning. Also, we deleted it for the turbo. So I think we're going to start working on the interior today. I know this is kind of more of just getting the dash welded in, but my dad wants to work on the back here, so we're going to clean it. And then this is a carpet to the S10, and I painted it with paint that you can use to paint carpet, and it turned out really nice. So if we could get that reinstalled, because you know it's the S10 floors and that carpet will fit it perfectly. So I think we're just going to start by cleaning everything up here. Just get the car cleaned out and then we can get a better idea of what we need to do. So now we're looking at back here. We're just trying to come up with some ideas. We're probably going to cut this out of here. And then as far as what we want to do here, we might incorporate the original bed mounts. I'm thinking I would like to have back seats. It's not important though. And it's like, how often do you have like 5 people in your car? You know? So it's like, I don't need back seats. It would just be nice to have. So we're kind of thinking that we could incorporate these bed mounts, turn them into almost body mounts, have a step up here, and then have it go straight across and then weld to up here. That's just an idea. Or maybe box this in, make it like a little storage container or something. I don't know. We haven't decided yet. So, yeah, not quite sure what to do. Well, my dad and I just made the tough decision that we are not going to put back seats in this just because we won't be able to. And then my dad has a plan on how he wants to kind of do this. So while he's doing that, I'm going to finish welding in the dash. Getting that figured out, that's another thing. Okay, so this is what we've come up with. I guess just kind of like a package tray area. Yeah, anything you want to say?
Yeah. So this needs to come up like an inch or so.
Because of body mounts.
Body mounts.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to cut along these lines, and then this will bend at like a 40-degree angle down here.
Here. Yeah, where the back of the cab was.
And then this will either cut more up here, or we'll cut right along there and weld since that's a straight line, but we got to splice in here.
Yeah, we got to weld some patches in.
I think we'll probably just weld down to here, keep that strength.
Yeah, I like that idea.
And so, yeah, so it'll be just mainly a smooth floor. I could probably run uptown and put in the brake.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should do that when the time comes. Yeah. Okay. Now we just need metal though.
Yep, we will.
It is Sunday. I'm not very enthusiastic to be working on this right now. But I do kind of want to weld the dash back in. I took it out because I wasn't happy with the ducting system. So I was just like, you know what, we're not going to have a ducting system. We'll figure it out later. And then we got the wiring harness here. So I laid that up where it kind of needs to go. So we're not messing with it when the dash is welded in. All right, we got it all tacked in, just a few tacks. I worked all day today. I'm working tomorrow. I'm just not really in the mood to work on this. And also, I can't weld right there on that side because my other Corvair is in the way. And then I think my dad might be going to a local metal supplier tomorrow to pick up a sheet to go back there. All right, Dad, what are you doing?
Making your coupe into a business coupe.
Okay, so this is a sheet of metal that Dad got today. And then we need to bend that in a certain way for the back seat. And so it looks like he has, is that galvanized?
That is just a thin piece of galvanized for a template.
Just a thin piece. So he's getting a perfect template, and then we'll run up to our hardware store and they'll let us use their brake, and then we can use that to bend that. And that way we have just a perfect bend back here. You see that white piece of paper there? Oh, and actually, right here, these are more templates that my dad made and bent up, and basically that's gonna go right here. You can see the template there. The only problem is that we're running low on metal for, you know, because this metal here, this is all the metal supply place had, and this entire thing is basically going to be the back seat area. So we gotta source some metal from there. Okay, so we got this all bent up. You're probably wondering what this line and this line is for, and that's just to add some rigidity to it so it doesn't really tin can. So there's that, and then we just got back from another store, and we got this metal for the template pieces there. Dang, this thing is basically a demon at this point with a backseat delete. So it actually looks pretty good. We just got it obviously clamped in. This is like sound deadening that is like really stuck on there. So what you're supposed to do is take dry ice, crumble it up, and put it on here, and then it will freeze and crack up. Well, I don't have any dry ice, so we're probably going to get a blowtorch and melt it off. We'll wear respirators and everything, but that's going to be the option there, and then we can weld that there. And then we got to weld in the patches there. You see where it's cut there, and then it's cut on the other side. We ended up cutting that when we were cutting apart the Corvair because we weren't sure how far the frame was going to go up, and we were like, we'll patch it later. So we have patches sitting on top ready to be welded in. But this looks pretty good. And then as you see, we put in these style lines, but it's really to keep it from tin canning, so it looks good. And then one other thing, this came in the mail, covered my address there, but it's sound deadening. And it's the same sound deadening that I used in this Corvair. And it just applies really nicely. So we're going to use that to keep it from being loud and tin canning and stuff like that. So I'm not quite sure what we should do next. Probably going to start welding in those patches and then alternate between the patches and welding the dash fully in. All right, so as you saw, we got the dash welded in, including right here, but on that side it's unwelded because I can't get the door open far enough, so I'll have to wait to weld there, and then ground it down and then painted it, and then I just thought that'd be a nice little detail to make that easier to see. Someone had commented on a previous video asking if I could measure where the frame comes in, so I will try to give you the best estimate. So right here, let me get some better light in there, where the floor, the back seat would have been, I'm going to measure from there and then go up at an angle. Looks like right about a foot is where how far the frame will come into the back seat area. We weren't sure how far it would go, so that's why it was so badly cut there, how far up it went. We just were tired of lifting the telehandler up and down. So it comes up into the floor about a foot for anyone who wants to do this. Sure? I'm as sure as I will ever be. Just for once in your life, don't question this. Okay? Can you do that for like 10 minutes? I feel like things that you would lose sleep over and things that I would lose sleep over are two different things.
You're probably right. Okay, son.
Hey look, the window's in and everything went perfectly fine the way it's supposed to. And then the tires there just to hold it down. So yeah, that went totally fine. Don't ask if it went bad, because it definitely did not go bad. Went absolutely fine. I think, so that's it for tonight. It's pretty late. I gotta work tomorrow. Not quite sure what he has planned there, but I trust him. My dad is the best car builder I've ever met, and I have met Gene Winfield before. I'm about to drill all the holes for the seat delete to spot weld that in. I'm not going to film that, but I will film it when we weld it in. And then my dad just got done installing the radiator. I don't know if I mentioned it, made a big mistake and sent a Sawzall blade right through it. That's where damage was. So we just got that fixed. It works, doesn't look pretty. Probably should have just bought a new one, if I'm being honest, for the cost that it costed to replace that. So yeah. Anyway, but we're just about ready to go. Weld that in, and we can call it for this video. Got the seat delete fully welded in. There was right about 90 spot welds that needed to be done, and then all in all, with all of the self tappers that we put in, we backed those out. I don't know why I'm saying we. I did that. I backed out all the self tappers and then welded all those. So there ended up being over 100 spot welds. But other than that, it's nice and solid. Dad had a great idea. His idea, you know, you put the crease lines in there and that really stiffened it up. We might go underneath and put a support bar underneath. Maybe, I don't know. So now we are underneath the truck. You can see the seat delete, and you can see that all the spot welds, right there, there's a double, it's double metal, so it wouldn't penetrate through there. But all there, and then underneath here, you can see up in there, all the spot welds turned out very nicely. So that's not going anywhere. Okay, so we got the holes drilled. This one got a little off-centered. You can see the bottom bed mount there. So we might have to drill. Oh, that might actually work, maybe. Anyway, these are the tie-downs that I got from Buick Rendezvous. The only problem is, which I notice I say that a lot in videos, the only problem is that they don't really fit. See that? So what my dad is doing is grinding down the side of one of the bolts over there to see if that would work. And then that will also butt up against the bracket there. You see that? And it will almost act like a locking mechanism where we don't have to tie it down. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so now we are putting in the body mounts here. But the problem is that the floor is too close there. You see that? And we accommodated for this, but I think when just by sitting on here and stuff, it bent it down and we weren't able to get them in there. So I have a bottle jack here with a 2x4, just pushing up the floor a little bit to get the body mounts in there. See how there, and then this is how much it needs to go up. So, yep, so that's what we're doing. And we're putting the bolts in. Oh, it rolled away. Thank you. And then the floor will be in. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you install a seat delete in a 69 Corvair. Nothing's tightened down yet. I wanted to, but I need to install the sound deadening. So I'm going to take these out. They just lift right out. And you can see that the body mount is still in place. So we're going to do that in the next episode, which is actually going to be filmed immediately after I stop filming this episode, because I'm not done working on this. And we need to tighten down the body mounts yet. So, I mean, it's all, you know, it's not solid or anything, but yeah, that's basically that. This one's so smooth. I need to grind down some welds yet. Yeah, this could not have gone any better, I think. I mean, we got the dash almost welded back in. We got the floor done. We just got a bunch of stuff done. So quick thing, in the beginning of this episode, you heard me talk about the seat problem. Yeah, that's a problem. I'm pretty tall. I'm about 6'1". So if you're going to be doing it like this, where you use the S10 floor, keep in mind that you're not going to be able to use S10 seats or even a Corvair seat. So we do have some seats here, which will be talked about in the next episode, because that's what we're going to focus on, is the seats and finishing up the dash wiring. But just keep in mind that it's not a lot of room. From here to the top of the roof is about 3 feet, which is not very tall. I mean, it looks like it is, but from my waist to the top of the head is right about 3 feet. So there's not much room in there. So you need some really low profile seats. But that will be discussed in the next episode. And with that, we are going to wrap up the video. We got a lot of cleaning to do. And yeah, this was a good episode. So we'll see you in the next one. Like the video, comment, subscribe. Oh my God, how did I forget? We are at like 8,700 subscribers. That is insane. 8,700. That's insane. That would be so cool if we could hit 10,000 by Christmas, by the end of the year. 2022 we'll have 10,000 subscribers. That's insane. So that is cool. So with that, we'll see you in the next video. Leave a comment. I love reading comments. It's my favorite part of the video. And I'm rambling. So we will see you in the next video.